Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Worst to First, all Black Series Clone Troopers. While I don't own every single Black Series Clone Trooper, I am, they're all basically the same mold, just painted differently and stuff like that. So, I am going to make this video. I don't have to own the figure for, to actually be on the list. And, one thing that is different, though, is I did not include the new Bad Batch figures on the list, only because they haven't been really officially released from Hasbro yet. So those aren't on the list, but if you guys want, I can always remake this video later down the line once we have gotten more Clone Troopers, especially from the Bad Batch with that TV show coming out pretty soon. Anyway, let's just get into the worst figure. But first, if you would, go down, hit that like button, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, because it does really help me out a lot, and I do really appreciate it. Anyway, onto the worst figure. So coming in at number 19 as the worst figure that we've gotten so far is the Clone Lieutenant. And of course this is on the old clone body, and for that time I actually really liked the old clone body. Of course it doesn't hold up to today's standards when it comes to the new articulation on the new clone body, but I gotta say I think that the old clone body was really good for what it was, but the reason that the Clone Lieutenant comes in last is because of the detail on the actual color of the Clone Lieutenant. It is actually the wrong shade of blue. It is supposed to be a lighter shade of blue, and they made it like a dark shade, and it's just not accurate to the film. And plus, they actually made it weathered as well, where all the other three colored clones from that group of clones actually have a solid color. It's not weathered at all, and it just stands out, and it doesn't match the other ones. So that's why it comes in at the number 19 spot. And coming in at number 18 is the standard Phase 1 clone on the old body. And I gotta say, this one is definitely better than the Lieutenant because it is accurate to the movie, but I just think this one looks really clean as well. I love the just plain white look of it, and I just think it looks really, really cool and a lot better than the clone Lieutenant, so that's why it comes in at the number 18 spot. And coming in at number 17 is the Clone Sergeant. And I gotta say, this one is a lot better than the other two in my opinion, but the problem I don't like with it is the shade of green they picked. It is accurate to the movie, but I just think it's like a weird puke green color, and I don't personally like it. I think that a different shade of green would have been better for the figure, but then it wouldn't have been accurate, so you gotta give and take. So that is why this one comes in at the number 17 spot. And again, I don't have anything against this figure. It's just the fact that the color is not my favorite. So, and that means coming in at number 16 is the Clone Captain. Now I gotta say, this one is definitely one of the coolest ones of those colored clones we've gotten. I actually dig the maroonish red color that comes with it, and definitely one of the cleanest ones of that few figures. And that's why it comes in at the number 16 spot. And if you're paying attention, you probably see a trend going here, but coming in at the number 15 spot is the Clone Commander. This is one that I actually own, and it came in the Entertainment Earth 4-pack, but it's definitely by far the cleanest one of those four. I absolutely love the yellow color that is with it, and it is by far the sharpest and the cleanest one of that Phase 1 group that we've gotten so far. I really hope they do eventually remake all four of these on the new clone body in the future. Coming in at the number 14 spot is the standard Phase 2 clone. While this one is pretty much like the old Phase 1 clone body, it is the exact same body, just a different helmet. And I gotta say, I actually dig the Phase 2 helmet a lot more than I do the Phase 1. I think the Phase 2 is just iconic. I absolutely love Revenge of the Sith, and it's just the white color on it looks really, really cool as well. It just looks sleek, and that's why it comes in at the number 14 spot. And coming in at the number 13 spot is the new clone body for the Phase 1 Trooper. And I gotta say, this one is a big upgrade from the original Phase 1 Clone Trooper, and that's because, of course, the new clone body. I think that the articulation is so much better, it looks cleaner, and by far it is just better in every way. And I gotta say, I think it just looks amazing as well. I think that I really love a remake of all the clones we've already gotten on this new body, because I just think it looks really, really good. But that is why it comes in at the number 13 spot. Now, finally getting into some more interesting figures, coming in at the number 12 spot is the 442nd Trooper from the Entertainment Earth 4-pack. Now, I gotta say, I absolutely love this 4-pack, and it's one I really hope to pick up in the future. But this one is probably the worst one from that pack, only because it has the least interesting colors. I think that the green is pretty bland. While it is cool, it just doesn't stand out compared to the other ones, and that's why it does come in at the number 12 spot. And speaking of the Entertainment Earth 4-pack, coming in at the number 11 spot is the 212th. And while this one does get a little bit better from the old one. It's the exact same design. It just has a better color, which is that yellow color. I think it looks so much sharper than the green, and it is just iconic. Absolutely, again, I love Revenge of the Sith, and the 212th just goes so much better with like that Commander Cody and everything like that. And I know I said it was yellow just a minute ago, and it's more of like an orangish color than yellow, but I said yellow, and I don't know why. So. Finally, breaking the top 10 here. Number 10 is the Coruscant Guard. While this again does suffer some of the poor articulation of the old clone body, it does bring some amazing paint apps and weathering. This is by far one of my favorites from the Entertainment Earth 4-pack and one of my favorite clones just in general. I think the weathering and the paint apps are just absolutely outstanding. Some of the best we've gotten on any of the clones in the Black Series so far, and it's by far one of the ones I want to pick up the most. So that's why it comes in at the number 10 spot. And if you haven't guessed it already, the number 9 spot is of course the 501st Trooper. And I had trouble picking if I wanted to put the Coruscant Guard or the 501st on top of that I guess clone 4-pack, and honestly I ended up going with the 501st. The paint apps and the weathering on that are just as good as the Coruscant Guard, but of course this is just a more iconic figure and one that I hold more dear to my heart, so I did put it up further on the list. And I gotta say, I just really like this figure. One I really want to get, but of course it is super expensive, and I do hope they remake it. There are rumors of a re-release, but who knows. Anyway, that is why that comes in at the number 9 spot. And finally, breaking into some of those clone commanders, coming at the number 8 spot is Commander Gree. While this one is one of the older clone commanders we've gotten, I think this one is really cool. It has some amazing paint apps with that like green camo color, and it has some amazing weathering to make it look like that green is rubbing off to see a really cool silver color underneath. I gotta say, he just has one of the coolest like clone trooper designs of all of the clone troopers, so that's why this one gets so high on the list. It's just it has such a cool design, and it definitely benefits from that. While I really wish we get a re-release on the new clone body, because this one definitely suffers from some of those older defects in the old clone body that I really wish that a new version would fix. But anyway, this one is still one of my first clones I've gotten, and it is just really deep to my heart. So that's why it comes in at the number 8 spot. At the number 7 spot is again one of the first clones I've ever gotten, but it was Commander Fox. Now I know a lot of people hate Commander Fox, but I gotta say, I actually really like his figure. I think that it is on the old clone body, which I know I said that a lot, which is it's unfortunate, but the helmet design on this guy is really cool. It does have the visor, and then it also has the comma as well, which is really cool. But of course, I think the main way that this guy strives is again the paint apps. It has a really cool symbol on its shoulder that you don't really see a whole lot in the Black Series, and this guy definitely benefits from it. And he also comes with some amazing weathered weapons, which is the only clone trooper in the entire Black Series we've ever gotten weathered weapons with, which is just really cool, and it's something I hope they do in the future as well. And coming in at the number 6 spot, either you love it or you hate it. I personally love it. It's the Kamino Clone Trooper, and I know a lot of people don't like this new clone mold, and I don't really see where they're coming from. I really like it. I think that it's pretty much a flawless mold. Of course, it does have the knee pads, which are a little bit of a problem. I think that's something I can overlook because this guy is just really cool. I think the gray on this guy is super sharp, and I'd love to see this guy in red with that Kamino, with actually the Coruscant Guard look. And of course, this guy also has the really cool logos on the shoulders as well, kind of like the wolf that I'm sorry, the wolf and the fox, but something I really like. I love those logos, and I just think, of course, this guy updated the articulation. It was a big step for clone troopers in the Black Series. And this is one that I was not expecting to put this high on the list, but it coming in at the number 5 spot is Commander Cody. While I absolutely love this guy, again suffers from the bad articulation of the original clone body, but this guy also has some really good benefits. It has amazing custom molds that only this figure has come out with, mainly the helmet and the shoulder, and I just think it looks really cool. I think the design of this clone trooper really benefits from it, and I gotta say, the all the detail on this figure is really cool. You have the jetpack on the back with a really cool painted belt with a different gold and bronze pieces as well on that. It's just amazing paint apps on this guy, and again, something I'd really love to see either repainted to be like a Commander Vaughn, or one that I'd love to get re-released on the new clone body. And then coming in at number 4 is Clone Commander Wolf. And while this one does suffer the bad articulation of the old clone body, it also comes with a really big benefit, and that is a removable helmet. This guy's face underneath looks amazing. By far one of the best faces we've ever gotten in the Black Series. And of course, it does have that really, really good Temuera Morrison face, but with a really cool haircut and then that like scarred eye, which is just really, really cool to see. And by far one of the ones that I'm most surprised with in the Black Series, and it's one that I really hope my pre-order ships soon for, because that guy is really cool and I'd love to get my hands on. And we're finally breaking the top 3. Coming in at number 3 is might be a controversial pick, but it is the 332nd Trooper. This was a Walmart exclusive and a very hard figure to get, but I gotta say, with my love for the new clone body, this guy is just the holy grail of figures from that. I absolutely love the like shade of blue they picked for the 332nd Trooper. It absolutely matches Rex's, and the shade of orange on the helmet. It just looks stunning as well. I think that it matches the show very, very closely. While it doesn't match the Ahsoka figure super closely, I think that it just pops, and just how impressed I am with this figure compared to like the glam shots that came out that looked really, really bad compared to what this figure actually looks like. I'm just super impressed, and definitely have some nostalgia for like just waiting for this figure to come in the mail, and Walmart kept delaying it and everything. And I guess if you really wanted to, you can repaint the helmet and make it look like a normal 501st Trooper, so I mean I guess that's a plus as well. And of course, coming in at number 2 is Clone Commander Bly. And where this guy really, really strives is his paint apps and articulation. This guy is on the Rex clone body, which is just really, really amazing, which means he has that amazing like 45-degree angle on his elbows, and gets some really, really good angles and different shots and poses with this guy. And of course, he has some amazing paint apps. Of course, he has the pauldron as well, and the like visor vernacular things. Anyway, I just think that this guy looks amazing. Of course, he did have that straight like a wave of figures where it did have that miss paint or whatever that they didn't add in. I did get one of those, but they did eventually fix that. But I think again, with the amazing weathering and detail on the paint, to the amazing new molds with the pauldron and all that kind of stuff, this guy is just a really, really amazing figure. And coming in at the number 1 spot, if you haven't guessed it already, what are you doing? It's Clone Captain Rex. This guy is by far the best clone trooper we've ever gotten, and I'll tell you why. It has amazing paint apps, amazing weathering, an amazing removable helmet with an amazing face print underneath. The Temuera Morrison face on this guy is stunning, and I gotta say, it is by far my favorite Black Series figure. I know I changed my favorite Black Series figure a lot, but this guy is just always gonna be one of my favorites. I think that the of course the Rex body on this guy is amazing. I think that by far he's the one that needed this the most, because you need to get those really cool shots with those like bent elbows. And of course the weathering on this guy and then the paint apps as well are just really, really good. I think they weathered it perfectly, and the paint apps again are just amazing. And of course, getting to the actual face, this guy looks like a photo of Temuera Morrison. That's how good it is. Especially being a older figure, it's amazing how good they got the actual face print technology on such an old figure. And also going to like the pauldron just looks really amazing. I like how they again went with that Clone Wars style pauldron instead of going with a more realistic one. They decided to go with the Clone Wars one, and I think it really paid off. And I gotta say, that's why this one comes in at the number 1 spot. It's just all around amazing. I don't think there's any flaws with this guy, and I think it easily deserves a number 1 spot. Comment down below if you guys disagree. Let me know. I want to know what your guys' favorite clones are. And yeah, I really hope to be able to get every single Black Series clone in the future. I'm only like 4 away from getting every Phase 2 clone, and of course that is just the Entertainment Earth 4 pack. The only 4 I need for that, but yeah, I do really hope to eventually get them all. Anyway, that is going to do it for the video. If you did enjoy, that like button and subscribe, and again, also comment down below what worst to first video would you guys like to see next. Anyway, that is going to do it for the video.